Hello, inner shifters, how you doing? Your host, Sophia here. Let's get into this, really into it. Because when we talk about how exercise boosts mood through brain chemistry, we're not just talking about fitness tips or chasing a six-pack. We're talking about feeling better from the inside out. Like cracking open a window in a stuffy room and letting your whole nervous system exhale. You and I both know life gets heavy sometimes. There are days it's hard to lift your head off the pillow, let alone lace up sneakers. But what if movement, just a little, just enough, could begin to change the atmosphere inside you? I want to talk to you about that. Not like a lecture, more like a walk around the block with a friend who sees your magic and wants to help you feel it again. First, can we just take a breath and acknowledge how smart your body is? You are literally walking around in a biological machine that has mechanisms for joy built into it. Like your body comes with a built-in pharmacy. When you move, your brain releases chemicals, endorphins, serotonin, dopamine that act like natural antidepressants. Not in some vague, pseudoscience way. In a real, studied, fascinating, quantifiable way. Endorphins, for instance, are neurotransmitters produced in your pituitary gland and central nervous system that act on the opiate receptors in your brain. Basically, they reduce the perception of pain and trigger that slightly euphoric feeling we sometimes call a runner's high. But guess what? You don't need to be a marathoner to feel it. A brisk walk, a little dance party in your kitchen, some squats in your pajamas, that's enough. Your brain doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to engage. I knew someone, Mateo, who used to suffer from brutal bouts of anxiety and mild depression. He tried everything, therapy helped, sure, and meds were a part of his path. But he swore that nothing brought him out of a spiral faster than getting his body moving. He'd walk, rain or shine, for 20 minutes. Some days he jogged. Some days he just wandered with his hoodie up and music in his ears. And without fail, he said that movement helped quiet the noise. Not erase it entirely, but quiet it. As if his brain mid-stride would remember, oh yeah, I'm okay, I'm still here. I'm doing something kind for me. And that's not just anecdotal, though I'll take stories like Mateo's any day. It's backed by research. A 2005 study published in the Journal of Sports Science and Medicine found that just 10 minutes of moderate exercise produced measurable improvements in mood. And a groundbreaking study published in The Lancet Psychiatry in 2018, involving over 1.2 million people, found that those who exercised regularly experienced significantly fewer days of poor mental health per month compared to those who did. The kind of movement didn't matter much. What mattered was consistency. That means it's not about crushing it in the gym. It's about engaging your body like it matters. Because it does. And let's talk about serotonin for a moment. This neurotransmitter is a big player in regulating mood, appetite, and sleep. Antidepressants like SSRIs work by increasing serotonin availability in the brain. But here's something amazing: exercise has a similar effect. Physical activity increases the release and uptake of serotonin, according to a 2011 review in the Journal of Psychiatry and Neuroscience. So when you move, you're creating a neurochemical environment that supports calm, confidence, and emotional balance. That's not bro science. That's your body doing what it's designed to do: heal, adapt, support you. And here's the kicker: your brain is listening. Every time you move, you're sending it a message, not just of capability, but of hope. That's what dopamine does. It's not just a pleasure chemical, it's a motivation chemical. It tells your brain that felt good. Let's do more of that. And your brain begins to rewire itself, creating new pathways, associating movement with reward. Over time, movement doesn't feel like a chore. It becomes a lifeline. My friend Clara, she works in publishing, lives a wildly busy life, and for years believed she wasn't an exercise person. That's what she told herself. I'm just not wired that way. But when she hit a wall with her anxiety, she started walking before work. 15 minutes, nothing fancy. A podcast or some quiet. And after a month, she told me, I didn't think I'd ever be one of those people who needed to move to feel okay. But now, if I skip it, I notice. It's like brushing my teeth, but for my brain. And don't think this is only for people already doing well. So one of the things I love about movement is that it meets you wherever you are. If you're grieving, it walks with you. If you're angry, it gives your fire somewhere to go. If you're numb, it gently invites sensation back into your body. You don't have to fix yourself before you begin. You begin to remember yourself as you move. Oh, that's the gift. There was this powerful study done by Dr. Madhukar Trivedi at UT Southwestern Medical Center that found that exercise can be as effective as antidepressants for some people with major depressive disorder. In fact, patients who engaged in regular aerobic exercise experienced comparable symptom relief to those on medication. That doesn't mean exercise replaces therapy or meds, that's never the message. But it does mean your body has agency. You are not powerless. There are tools inside you that are free, accessible, and always ready. Let me tell you about Jake. He used to describe himself as chronically stuck. Burned out, uninspired, heavy. And he decided on a random Tuesday, no epiphany needed, that he'd try something different. 10 push-ups and 1 walk a day. Oh, that was it. No goals about weight loss. Just a commitment to show up for himself. And what he said after 2 months broke me in the best way. He said, I didn't realize I could feel this alive again. Like there's air in my brain and room in my chest. That's what moving does. It's not about the shape of your body. It's about the shape of your spirit. And if motivation is something you struggle with, friend, you are not alone. You don't need to feel motivated to move. You need to move to find motivation. That's the weird, beautiful truth. You take the action and the feeling follows. It's not always right away, not dramatically, but quietly. In the way your shoulders soften. In the way your breath deepens. In the way your inner voice starts saying, hey, maybe we're not doing so bad after. And one more thing before I let you go, you deserve movement that feels like love, not punishment. Your body is not a problem to be solved. It's a partner. And the more you treat it like an ally, the more it will respond with strength, clarity, joy. So dance, stretch, walk, lift, wiggle, sway, do whatever reminds you that you're alive in there. Oh, that you're still here. That there is something inside you that wants to feel good again. It doesn't take hours. It doesn't take pain. It takes presence. Just for a few minutes. Just to reconnect. Because your body remembers how to heal. Your mind knows how to find the light. And when you move, you're not just exercising, you're choosing hope on purpose. So go ahead. Take that first step. Roll your shoulders back. Wiggle your toes. Let this be the moment you start to feel it again, not all at once, but one breath, one movement at a time. This is one of my favorite conversations to have, because it's about how movement, in the most natural and intuitive way, helps the body process stress and soften the weight of the world. Let's talk about how exercise reduces stress levels, not just as a buzzword we throw around, but as a deeply human, deeply physiological truth. So pull up a chair, or even better, take me on a walk with you as we talk. This isn't a lecture, it's a gentle unfolding. Let's start with the basics, because our bodies are wise in ways we forget. When something stressful happens, an argument, a deadline, a moment of fear, your nervous system reacts. You get a hit of adrenaline. Your heart rate picks up. Muscles tighten, breathing shallows. It's your body's ancient way of saying danger might be near. Let's get ready to fight, flee, or freeze. This is what we call the sympathetic nervous system response, also known as fight or flight. But here, the problem: in our modern lives, the threats we face aren't usually lions or avalanches. They're emails, traffic, family tension, financial pressure, the news cycle. And unlike the ancient threats that ended quickly, one way or another, today's stressors often never turn off. We live in a low-level state of activation all the time, and our bodies never fully get to come back down. This is where movement enters, like an old friend with the exact key we forgot we had. When you exercise, even gently, you send a clear message to your body: the threat has passed. You can come back to balance now. Physical activity decreases levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest mode. This creates a state of physiological calm, not just mentally, but in your heart rate, your digestion, your muscles, your breath. I had a friend named Leo who used to carry stress in his body like armor. He'd get tension headaches, grind his teeth at night, clench his jaw during meetings. He thought he had to think his way out of stress, meditate more, journal more, breathe deeper. And while those tools are powerful, what finally shifted things for him was movement. He started going on evening bike rides, not intense, not competitive, just moving. After a few weeks, the jaw softened. Well, the headaches faded. His body started trusting that the end of the day didn't mean more bracing, more tension, but more release. There's even something called somatic discharge, a term from body-based trauma therapy, which refers to the way the body physically releases stress and unresolved emotion through movement. Animals do it instinctively. Think of a gazelle sprinting to escape a lion and then, once safe, shaking out its body. That tremble is the discharge, the literal release of survival energy. Humans, though, we often override that instinct. We sit with clenched fists and tight bellies and frozen breath. But exercise, moving your body intentionally, gives that energy somewhere to go. Research confirms this in stunning ways. A study published in Psychosomatic Medicine found that regular aerobic exercise significantly reduces cortisol levels after stressful events. And according to the American Psychological Association, people who move regularly report significantly lower levels of perceived stress and better emotional resilience. They recover faster from hard days. They don't stay stuck as long. And it's not about how fast you run or how heavy you lift, it's about consistency and intention. Clara, another friend, was working 2 jobs and caregiving for her aging mother. Stress wasn't an occasional visitor, it was woven into her every day. And she said to me once, "Sometimes I forget I even have a body." We talked. We made a micro plan, a 10-minute stretch in the morning, a walk around the block after lunch, dance breaks in the kitchen while dinner cooked. Nothing revolutionary. But a few months in, she said something I'll never forget: "I still have stress, but I don't feel trapped by it anymore." That's what movement can do. It doesn't erase the hard stuff, but it shifts how your body holds it. Here's another layer I love: exercise boosts brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein that supports brain function and protects against stress-related damage. Think of BDNF like fertilizer for your brain. It helps with plasticity, the brain's ability to adapt, grow, and rebound. This is your biology helping you bounce back. Even gentle movement has an impact. A study out of Princeton University showed that exercise reorganizes brain activity to reduce anxiety and increase calm. Rats that exercised developed more active inhibitory neurons in their hippocampus, a brain region linked to emotion regulation. The takeaway: movement strengthens your mind's ability to quiet itself. You're not just moving muscles, you're sculpting emotional balance from the inside. Jake, a friend of mine who's been through serious trauma, once said, When I feel like I'm unraveling, I start with my feet. I walk, I stomp, I move. My body remembers how to hold me even when my thoughts do. Oh, that's what this is. Not a fitness routine. A remembering. So no, you don't need to be a runner or a yogi or a gym regular to benefit. You just need to listen to your body's call and offer it something, any kind of movement, to help it move the tension through. A punch, a pillow. Stretch your arms to the ceiling. Wiggle your hips to your favorite song. Your body doesn't need perfection, it just needs permission. Because when you move, you regulate. So when you regulate, you think more clearly. When you think more clearly, you respond instead of react. You soften. You breathe. You feel finally here again. And that's what I want for you, not to get fit for anyone else's standards, but to feel free inside your own skin. And to feel like there's a way out when your chest is tight and the world is loud. Oh, there is. Oh, the path is within you. And it doesn't start with pressure. It starts with a single movement. So whether today that looks like a walk, a shake, a dance, or a stretch, do it. Not for the calories or the check mark. For the relief. For the reset. For the deep, ancient knowing in your body that says, this too can move through me. This one is quietly revolutionary, how exercise enhances cognitive function. And not just for the overachievers or the gym junkies. I mean for you in your everyday, beautifully busy, sometimes foggy, sometimes forgetful, deeply human life. This is about feeling more clear, more present, more mentally awake, all from the simple act of moving your body. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Your brain loves movement. Like biologically, evolutionarily loves it. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors didn't sit at desks. They moved to think, moved to survive, moved to process. The body wasn't separate from the brain, it was an extension of it. And science is now confirming what ancient humans seem to know instinctively. When you move, your brain doesn't shut off. It switches on. You've probably felt this. That post-walk clarity. The way a run helps you finally solve a problem that's been bugging you. The way dancing, even badly, makes everything feel a little less tangled. That's not coincidence. That's chemistry. Let me tell you about my friend Sophia, fierce writer, brilliant mind, but she used to struggle with focus. Midday brain fog. Forgetting why she walked into a room. That kind of thing. Her work started to feel like wading through molasses. So we tried an experiment, morning movement. Nothing fancy, 10 minutes of yoga stretches, some lunges, a walk around the block. Within weeks, her thinking sharpened. Her memory improved. She said, it's like my brain got its morning coffee, but without the crash. And that experience, it's backed by research. Let's start with blood flow. When you move, your heart pumps faster, which increases circulation to the brain. More blood means more oxygen and nutrients, kind of like giving your brain a power smoothie. The Journal of Applied Physiology found that just 20 minutes of moderate exercise increases cerebral blood flow, which correlates with sharper cognitive function. So your walk, it's not a detour from being productive. It's fueling your brain to work better. But it gets deeper. Exercise stimulates the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein your brain uses to build and repair neurons. Think of BDNF as Miracle-Gro for your gray matter. It enhances learning, boosts memory, and protects against cognitive decline. A landmark study out of Harvard School of Public Health showed that people who engaged in regular physical activity had significantly greater volume in regions of the brain tied to memory, emotion, and decision-making. So every time you move, you're literally growing your brain. I thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and do all those lovely things you wonderful people do. I'll see you next time.